is tied for third on most King of the Hill victories this season at 11.
Yeah, head-to-head, he's at 14-8. King of the Hill specifically, he's 11-5. And I actually ran into him the other day, and he was just telling me, you know what, just make a couple misplays. That's what happens. It happens to everybody. Ready to bounce back, and that's the exact correct mentality you have to have. You can't let it get to you. You can't start questioning your ability. Everyone makes misplays. Everyone misclicks.
So far looking like two different versions of P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam, or maybe P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam for Vulkan and one of the Prince versions for Nitram. First for Nitram. First versions for Nitram. P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam, or maybe P.E.K.K.A.
It happens to everybody.
Third on most King of the Hill victories.
He fell to Royale. He fell to Henenkava, Wings, but that does not mean he cannot bounce back. We've seen him do incredible things thus far.
And Andrew, despite the rough run of King of the Hill he's had as of late, even with that, he is tied for third on most King of the Hill victories this season at 11.
Yeah, head-to-head, he's at 14-8. King of the Hill specifically, he's 11-5. And I actually ran into him the other day, and he was just telling me, you know what, just make a couple misplays. That's what happens. It happens to everybody. Ready to bounce back, and that's the exact correct mentality you have to have. You can't let it get to you. You can't start questioning your ability. Everyone makes misplays. Everyone misclicks.
So far looking like two different versions of P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam, or maybe P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam for Vulkan and one of the Prince versions for Nitram. First minute away, and we do not get a connection, but Vulkan is slightly ahead.
Yeah, and that zap allows a few extra hits to come in.
Zap went from being one of the most played spells in last season to a very, very low play rate, only used in about 13.5% of decks this season, sacrificing spots to Barb Barrel and Snowball.
So P.E.K.K.A. comes down for Vulkan to take out the Ram Rider. Nitram does not have enough elixir for a P.E.K.K.A. of his own, so Ewiz is what he's going to have to use. A great Barb Barrel.
Perfectly picks up that Bandit first 90 seconds away, and that P.E.K.K.A. making a beeline for the tower.
Yeah, Vulkan knows that Nitram has nothing in the tank to deal with it, as does Nitram, as you see him shake his head, and all it took was that Bandit to the left lane, just committing enough elixir from Nitram to find that opening for Vulkan.
Ewiz Zap takes care of that push, and Vulkan feels like looks like he's feeling it at this stage. Here we go, sudden or into double elixir time. Ram Rider comes out for Nitram.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a few mistakes, but the thing is when Vulkan is firing on all cylinders, he is the scariest man on the tower.
Barb Barrel cycled to pick up the Royal Ghost, and Vulkan loads up P.E.K.K.A. opposite lane, and immediately Mega Knight comes down to the right-hand side.
So you can imagine that Mega Knight might be kited opposite, which is why Nitram immediately plays those minions up high. A great play, but that is going to be just enough to get the P.E.K.K.A. involved.
Ewiz down, Bandit in response to the Ram Rider. Royal Ghost comes down as well, but Ram Rider EQ Bandit on that right-hand tower. Gonna do a lot of damage, but even with all that, Andrew, 22 seconds left. Looks like it's gonna be Vulkan taking game two.
And a very healthy P.E.K.K.A. on the left-hand lane. This is going to be it. You see Vulkan doubling down on offense to make it so that there's no opportunity for Nitram to go back on offense. He's caught playing defense, and Vulkan back to doing what he does. Now 12-5 in King of the Hill. Round of playoffs, and other than just a King of the Hill game victory going towards either squad, Rich, I think a lot of confidence from both squads rides on this because, again, this is the best of the best for both sides.
Yeah, it's very well, Andrew, that this game could decide the match overall, and who better to put those stakes on than Tommy and Vulkan. You mentioned the word, Andrew, versatile. These two guys aren't just mechanically sound. Their deck pools are very deep. Neither one has played the same deck more than twice or three times. Most of them have varied their deck each and every game out.
So you see here Vulkan most likely running Hog EQ with Valkyrie. Tommy on the other side of it, looking a little different, seeing Rascals, Miner, and Guards all together.
First minute away, second Hog Rider down for Vulkan, picked up by the Inferno Tower. So might this be a Miner Rascals balloon variation?
And wall breakers! Wow, no one expected that.
I don't think Seth expected that. Wall breakers just made their debut, not just at CRL West, but in the playoffs.
You see Tommy there kind of laughing to himself. I'm shocked. Now, we saw Wings playing the E-barbs, but we all know there was a little bit more of a story to that. At this moment, with everything riding on this game, everything riding on this match, I'm just shocked.
There is absolutely no way to have predicted this deck, Andrew.
No.
I mean, I don't care who you hired as an analyst. I don't care if you found a psychic who actually read Tommy's mind. You did not see this coming.
Yeah, because if your analyst told you Tommy was going to run wall breakers, I mean...
You probably fired him.
Yeah, exactly.
So here we go in the double elixir time. Minor control with wall breakers up against Hog EQ.
This is a fascinating deck, and I'd love to speak with Tommy about what exactly he sees here with the synergy of these cards, because as of right now, you see the Miner looking like the main win condition. That coupled with the wall breakers. I mean, wall breakers do a lot of damage when they connect, but you got to get them there.
Inferno Tower down for Tommy. EQ will help, and he miners opposite lane immediately. Snowball! Beautiful prediction snowball on those skeletons.
Yeah, very, very well played by Tommy there.
Nice management by Vulkan to play the snowball and push the miner off to the archers. And now Wallbreaker's opposite lane picked up easily by the barbell. Hog Rider on the tower. EQ snowball in.
Wow.
Vulkan takes a massive lead with 20 seconds left in regulation.
So a very interesting time for Tommy here to try something brand new before. Now, if both those Wallbreakers connect, that is 880 damage. That's a massive amount, but they've got to get there. And right now, Vulkan is doing an excellent job getting his Hog Rider to Tommy's tower.
And again, that Earthquake gonna take out that Inferno Tower. Hog Rider, though, picked up by the guards. Inferno Tower does its job. We are in sudden death overtime. Vulkan ahead by a significant margin. Tommy doing something we've never seen before.
There's just no utility provided by the wall breakers unless they connect to the tower, and that is the biggest problem Tommy's having right now. Bringing the tower down now below 200 or below 400 HP with that Earthquake. Tommy's in a world of hurt, Rich.
And he is way behind on Elixir, Andrew. This looks like Vulkan's game to win. You gotta give Tommy the respect for coming out with something that no one could possibly imagine would be played in this scenario, but Vulkan moments away from closing out game number 2.
Yeah, and that right there, the guards with the snowball. Hog Rider does not get a hit, but at this point, Tommy's just kind of prolonging his fate.
And interesting, Hog Rider inside. Giant Snowball comes in on the back end. Tommy tries the tower against Vulkan.
And if Complexity does take this, they will be facing Fnatic next, who they actually, in the regular season, ended up, I can't seem to find it on my sheet here.
They did lose
in
again
the very
their
last
season, the
match.
final match.
Yeah, so a quick rematch of someone that took a position from them, just making Complexity drop another spot.
That might have made them drop a few more spots, Andrew, with the way that loss came in. And look at that, the Bandit doing the super chain dash to take down that tombstone.
Yeah, well, one of the most surprising things about Fnatic was their 2v2 play and the success of Faye. So something that Colton and Razor, I'm sure, are already thinking about.
Well, right now, Vulkan has to think of the man in front of him, Jay Monty, perfectly capable of getting a few outs of his own. Goblin Giant unsupported, making its way to the tower. And it looks like it will get at least one stab in.
Yeah, and this is the thing a lot of people forget is that Jay Monty swept Complexity earlier in the season, the second match of their season. He took down Adrian Piedra, Air Surfer, and the man he sees right in front of him at this moment, Vulkan.
And Vulkan looked like he's going with the Goblin Giant Sparky version that has Lumberjack and Musketeer. One version of this deck went on to be the best deck in all of CRL West's first split at 11 wins out of 13. Overall, this combination has performed very well, somewhere between 75 and 80% win rate.
Yeah, and those skeletons from the Tombstone are really going to help Jay Monty in this battle, whether it's for kiting the Goblin Giant or distracting the Sparky, because those skeletons do a great job in soaking up those Sparky shots.
So heading into double elixir time, Vulkan has taken the lead, and this is where he'll start dropping those Sparkies against this RG Ice Wiz control deck.
And now with Jay Monty, he probably is going to want to play some adequate defense and then maybe switch up lanes. I don't think he wants to keep going into the Sparky over and over. However, if he's able to kind of keep it at bay with the skeletons from the Tombstone, he may just continue doing what he's doing right now. And he does end up switching.
And here we go, Lumberjack onto the Royal Giant. Will do a ton of damage. Ice Wiz trying to stop that Sparky.
Oh!
That's tower down!
And that NATO, I don't know if that NATO was advised. Jay Monty really feeling it, and that misplay is going to cost Tribe their entire season. The playoff hopes are done right now with Vulkan pulling off an incredible King of the Hill appearance, taking down Nitram, Tommy, and now Jay Monty.
Well, this is what he did all season, Andrew. He swept King of the Hill. He swept it against Team Queso. He did it again against Cream.